Welcome everybody to our community hosted event, The Road Ahead. We've got an exciting session planned today. As always, we'll be covering 3 topics. We'll start off with MyGeotab Safety and our video software updates with Senior Product Marketing Manager Kate. Then we'll talk about some of our productivity solutions with Manager of Product Marketing, Jason. And then finally, we'll welcome Jamie. If you've ever been to The Road Ahead, I'm sure you've seen Jamie. He'll be here talking about the next gen in asset tracking. Now, this session is being recorded, so if you have to leave halfway through, if you have any coworkers that are unable to join, anybody stuck in a meeting right now, no worries. This is recorded. Anybody that registered will be emailed a link to the recording early next week. So if you have to leave, don't worry about it. If you want to watch it back, there's some sessions that we maybe went too fast through. You can go watch back anything. We will be doing live Q&A today, so feel free as we go throughout the presentations, put your questions in the question function. If you put those questions in the chat, we're likely to miss them. They may get covered over with other comments, so please try to put all of your questions in the Q&A. Ask as many questions as you want. Even if we're past the section that you want to ask a question about, throw those questions in there. Any questions that we don't get a chance to answer today, we will follow up with a post in the community with answers to all of those questions. So sometimes the questions, they take a little bit longer of an answer, so we may not answer those live on the call, but please put all those questions in. We want to be able to answer all your questions. We've got the experts here, so take advantage of having those experts here in front of you today. But without any further ado, let's welcome Kate to talk about MyGeotab Safety and video software updates. Hey, Kate.
Awesome. Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Kate. I am the product marketing manager over our safety and video coaching solutions. So the first updates that I have for you today are in MyG related to your safety tools. The first is a new safety overview page that is currently in open beta. So if you're in MyG, your database might have already been enabled to see this, and it's rolling out currently. So definitely get in there and give this a peek. And provide feedback where you can. But to give you a little bit more context on what this is, we are giving you a one single pane of glass overview of your safety performance with this overview page. And I think some key pieces of this that will be really excited for everyone is the safety metric, which is just an intuitive risk score representing your overall fleet safety, high risk driver prioritization. You can kind of see it on the bottom right of the screen there. So you know where to focus and who to coach. And then collision visibility and the cost impact. This will be available later in July when we release this as generally available, but it will show a cost impact card about the dollar value around the collisions. And so you can really see how your safety program is impacting you from a cost basis. So again, this is in open beta right now, so we're still making improvements, but we'd love for you to get in there and poke around, and then we will have it for general availability towards the end of July. The next update is around our collision detection model, and we're super excited. We've made a change to the model. There's no changes that you need to make, but the good news is that there'll be fewer false positives to your collision detection model. So this is for real-time major and minor collisions. Again, no settings or rules or configurations need to change for you, but you may see fewer false positives. So if you are used to a certain amount of alerts, you likely will see a decrease in alerts. There's just a significant improvement in accuracy, both from reducing those false positives, but also capturing collisions that may not have been previously detected. So you may see some changes in the amount of alerts that you're getting. But again, everything stays the same, no changes, no action needed from you on this. We just want to make sure that you're aware that this change is coming. It'll be rolled out on July 7th. We'll be following with a lot of email communications and notifications within MyG as well when this is about to go live and live. Next, I'm going to move to some video coaching updates that have recently been released. You may have seen these in previous presentations, and so keeping you all updated on the status of some of these features. The first is what we're calling smart speeding, speed side detection. This is now live, so if you use our GoFocus Plus cameras, you will be able, and Soon Pro, which is launching later this week, be able to have this functionality. So the system captures speed signs as the camera is in use. And then when a speeding event occurs, it will attach to that speeding event. So you can see in the bottom screen there, the speed sign, the map, the event occurred, and then you can see the most recent speed sign that was near that speeding event. So it gives you a little bit more context and validity when you're having those coaching conversations. The next is Go Focus Verified, and this is something brand new that just got released. And so if you have a Go device and a Go Focus Plus, it's now a dual verified event. So you'll see a watermark on the event. It says Go Focus, Go X Focused. And so meaning that events that the Go device can't detect alone, the camera will help validate. So in terms of if the best example is this, if the driver clicks the seatbelt but behind their back, the Go device would say that is a no event because the seatbelt is fastened, but the camera can actually detect that it's not in front of the driver's body. And so it becomes an alert for you to help coach those behaviors with your drivers. So we're super excited about this because it just adds in a layer of validity and gives you more resources to help your safety program. This is also live. This is a minor update, but something that our customers have been asking for. Within the settings and the video piece, you can go to an installs tab now. And so this is a home for every camera installation report, and you don't have to chase the installers for different records. So it gives you a clear view. You can follow up. When something goes wrong, you don't have to call the installer. You can look directly and see what it is. The next are a few roadmap items. So we're continuing to work on this one, Smart Rules Escalation of Repeat Violations. So this will be something that you can configure in your settings. And you'll go in and say, the first time that someone looks at their phone, give them a ping. And if they self-correct, it doesn't turn into a coaching moment for a manager. But if they don't correct, it could escalate to a voice alert. And then if they don't correct again, then it gets forwarded to the manager for review and for a coaching session. So it helps incentivize drivers to self-correct and then reduces the manager load on reviewing true repeat offenders. We also will be introducing a video overview page within the video for Go Focus Plus and Pro. And so when you land on this, again, a single pane of glass on your trips, your cameras, high magnitude events, giving you more insight into your video and your camera pieces of that add-in. The last is the continuous driver verification. This has been continuously worked on as well. And so if you have a smart driver ID, the system will recognize who started the trip, who's driving mid-trip, and who ended the trip. So if there's a driver change, an event is created, or an unauthorized driver change, an event is created. So you can make sure that those who are meant to be driving are driving. Just a summary of what was released in Q1 and Q2, everything we've talked about before. What's coming down the pipeline in the near future. Some of these are related to the Pro launching later this week. And a quick summary of some of the hardware releases related to the Pro launching, which is June 25th this week, which we're very excited about, which would include that zero latency monitor, DMS and cabin aux cams, inquiry-based, the trailer link early in Q3, the security mode that monitors the vehicle's surroundings while the vehicle is parked and stationary later in Q3, as well as a couple other features that will be connected to the Pro launch. And that is everything I have.
Awesome. Thank you, Kate. Thanks for all that information, the updates. We've seen some really cool things happening with safety at Geotab. So we did have a couple of good questions here that were asked. So somebody asked about, talking about the safety overview. Does this take into account your custom rules are turned on, or is it just all AI-based everyday driving in G-Force? And do these scores take into account like just their fleet or like, similar fleets? How exactly does that work?
There will be fleet benchmarking, so you'll see how you are doing compared to similar sized and classed vehicle fleets. So you're able to have a benchmark for that. I'll get back to you on the rule specific piece. I don't want to misspeak, but it's what's available today in safety in a consolidated view. So how you're using things today, it'll be rolled up. So you're not clicking through many screens. You can click to get more information, but it's your current settings, I guess, rolled into an overview page.
Great. That is pretty cool. So Carrie was wondering about the video coaching. Does this include Lytx cameras, or is this a specific to Go Focus cameras?
This is specific for Go Focus cameras right now. We are evaluating if it's possible to roll this out to Lytx cameras as well. So stay tuned, and we should have an update for you on that soon.
Hey, great. That's great to hear. And so Brian was wondering about the Go X Verified, this new verification. Does this impact like existing Geotab exceptions, or is this just something for video coaching?
You would need to have a camera to have it work. So a Go Focus Plus camera and soon to be Pro for this to work. So if you don't have that, then it wouldn't apply.
Yeah, but would this just be, would this be able to validate your exceptions? Like, if your rule doesn't break for seatbelt, but the camera can identify that your rule should break for the seatbelt, would this create exceptions in like rules, or is it just for, is it just going to give video coaching alerts in that case?
Oh, I see. Where does it show up in your user face? It shows up in the video coaching events page.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. All right, and so Gene was wondering about with the new collision event update, is there a way for them to like kind of reprocess, maybe the last year and go back and try to catch anything that was previously missed with that?
That's a good question. It's not something we've flushed out entirely right now, but definitely reach out to your Geotab representative after July and see what you can do for that, if that's a pain point for you.
Awesome. All right, and one last question for you. So when we talk about like the cost, Patricia was wondering where we get like the cost for the collisions and events.
That's still being developed, so I don't have a firm answer for you yet, but that will be ready at the end of July when we do release it, and we'll provide some materials and how we arrived at that number for you when it's ready.
All right, awesome, Patricia. Well, stay tuned for those updates, and thank you for all the information you shared, Kate. I know there was a couple other questions. We will definitely follow up with answers to those, but for now, let's welcome on Jason to talk about some of our productivity solutions. Hey, Jason.
Hi, Ishi. How are you? Thanks, everyone. I'm glad to have you join us today. I'm really excited about some of the updates that we're going to cover. So specifically, I look over the productivity portfolio of solutions, and one of those solutions happens to be advanced routing and optimization. Before I give the update, I just want to make sure that everyone understands what the solution is. It's not something that's normally part of MyG. It's actually a solution available through our marketplace. And so advanced routing and optimization is a solution that helps organizations coordinate their fleets, deliveries, and service calls all in one system. So it's about optimizing route planning, enabling faster dispatch, and better organizing the service techs or the individuals performing the work in the field, so you can drive overall efficient and more efficient service operations. So in terms of what we're introducing, what we're excited to introduce is appointments, which is going to be a new module contained within the advanced routing and optimization solution. But before we look at the module itself, I just want to make sure that we understand the problem associated with appointments. So main thing, or the biggest thing really, is that scheduling is disconnected from the overall routing decisions. So that creates inefficiencies downstream as jobs are dispatched or the work actually occurs. And so the reason for that is a lot of the scheduling is done outside of traditional solutions. It's done in a calendar first scheduling way, meaning that the CSR is on the call with a customer and they're just looking at available calendar blocks and then they're blocking those. So there is no optimization. It's really manual decision making. They're not accounting for things like travel time, cost, or overall route efficiency. Like I said, these are just blocks of time placed within a calendar. It's also dealing with fragmented systems. So I mentioned before that appointment scheduling is happening outside of the routing solution. It's not necessarily connected to their CRM. It's not necessarily connected to the routing tool. And so that fragmentation is obviously creating inefficiencies within the process. The delayed optimization, we talked about that optimization is typically being handled after all the appointments have been taken. And then, the biggest thing is it's creating operational impact at scale, right? Higher costs, you're missing SLAs, your customers aren't as satisfied or as happy, and it's just providing an inconsistent service performance. So what we are introducing is every appointment optimized before it's booked. So this idea of an appointment module directly embedded within the advanced routing and optimization solution, where the optimized appointment suggestions will be available to the CSR at the time of booking. Not only will those suggestions be available, but we're introducing an actual lightweight CRM directly within the solution, where you can create customer records, you can maintain a service history of those customer engagements, so that you can make better decisions and provide better service continuity in future. There will be an operational dashboard as well as part of that, so that you can create visibility. You have live views into what's actually happening within a given day, so you can make better proactive decisions around how you manage that day. And then also introducing this functionality available through API integration. So although we're providing a lightweight CRM where you can store your customer information, that doesn't necessarily work for all enterprises. Some enterprises already have a CRM in place. And so we want them to have that same functionality available to them directly from where they're managing their customers. So with an API, you'd also be able to engage with the system and receive those same optimized appointment recommendations from where your customers are already working. I wanted to dive a little bit in and show you what that looks like from a customer perspective. So what do the CSRs actually see? When it comes to customer records, they'll have the ability to enter that customer information. So the name of the customer, some sort of external ID if they're using that to track the customer, a branch. So in many cases within routing and optimization, customers are segmenting their actual customer base based on branches or territories. The address for the customer where the service work will take place. In addition to that, typical things like email address, any special notes related to the customer, a map view of where the customer location is. In addition to that, you'll also see any appointment history for the customer itself. So in this case, you can see the customer had 7 total appointments so far with the company. 6 of those have been completed. 1 of them is still open or remaining to be completed. An idea of what the total revenue associated with the work was. So in this case, nearly $800. And then the average duration to perform the work. So in this case, 32 minutes. You can also add notes to the customer. So customer called with additional instructions. They no longer want us to ring the doorbell, simply leave the contents on the doorstep. And then you have a full appointment history below. Looking at the appointment booking experience. So what do the CSRs see when they go to actually schedule the appointments? So assuming the customer has been created and set up, they would just be able to simply search for the customer, see all the relevant information related to that customer, be able to input an actual order ID. Now this can be directly coming from the customer, or they can actually use this to generate their own unique one. And then most importantly, the work order type. So what work are they going to perform while on site visiting the customer? And so we have a pre-populated list of items that are set up within the administration module. So whether that's electrical repair, fence repair, HVAC servicing, and all of those order types have a duration associated with them. And then we have a range of dates when they're looking to have the work done. And then they just select whether or not it's AM or PM, and then they can check availability. And so, like I said, this is where the true differentiation comes in, is our ability to surface these appointments, looking at the existing route plans for a given day, and looking at the ones, the slots that are going to have the least impact to that day, the ones that are going to have the least cost impact, but also the least disruption to that day. And these are the same appointment sessions you would see as part of that CRM integration. And so the CSR can simply select the appointment and actually book it. And now it's part of the overall route plan, optimized before booking, reducing those errors and issues that are going to happen as a result of it being created after the fact. I will say from a differentiation standpoint, the routing optimization module also takes economics into factors. So traditionally, it would have taken all appointments and then optimized them for the customer after the fact. In this case, we're going to be able to optimize them at the time of booking, but also after the fact to continuously create the best possible outcomes for the business. And then from a dashboard perspective, as operations is executing throughout the day, they'll be able to see an operations dashboard where they can see all their branches, any of the unassigned appointments for the day, anything that's running late, if there's any appointments at jeopardy of not being completed within the given day, a list of total appointments for that particular date range. Also, you can see a map, and on the map, you'll see all of the locations for those appointments. And the nice thing about this dashboard, it's completely customizable for the individual user. So they can simply come into the configuration and select what it is they want to see. Another thing that we're introducing within the advanced routing and optimization is a data capture feature. And so once again, just covering off with the traditional challenges with data capture. So this is really the field execution part or the field operations part, assuming the appointments have been optimized and dispatched and the work is being delivered. As part of that work being delivered, there's often this inconsistency in the way that information is being captured related to the job itself. So the job details, the outcomes, any sort of exceptions, a lot of these things are lost in the moment. And why are they lost in the moment? Because they're being scribbled on a piece of paper. They're being stored in the memory of the technician who's performing the work. They're being forgotten. They're not creating a consistent customer experience because they're just free-form exceptions, things like damages, delays, denied access. They're just not captured in this structured way. And what that means is it's hard to reuse this downstream if there's some sort of issue or question around the work being performed and whether or not it was performed to standard. They don't have that information alongside the original order type to have that discussion in a meaningful way. So we are introducing custom forms. It's capturing the proof at the point of service. And so Geotab already today collects standard proof of delivery stuff. So things like signatures or a photograph of a delivered item. However, those are somewhat basic proof. And what we're looking for is to create a more structured way of grabbing things that are unique to the job itself. So I mentioned some things like damaged goods, or as maybe part of an HVAC servicing, the technician needs to swap out the filter. Well, did they do that? Did they perform that work? So on the right-hand side, you can see an image here of us creating a form where we're capturing customer information, the service type, arrival, and then some additional details and service notes. And it is a step-through form where you can capture all of the different points within that process, making sure you're eliminating that loss of context that I mentioned before, that you're standardizing the exception reporting, that it's tied to the job, that you can see it at any point in time. You can go into the actual appointment and see the job along with this associated capture of standardized information. And the nice thing also is this will be available through API. And so you can tie into your existing systems and make sure you also have availability to that information. So those are the updates related to the advanced routing and optimization module. I want to touch on one additional update related to productivity, which is the investigation solution that we're introducing. And so when I'm talking about problems associated with the investigation is really incidents being reported from the field by workers, by citizens within a city or a municipality. Things like I saw someone speeding down my street inside of a school zone. I'm not sure who it was. I'm not sure exactly the vehicle information. but I want you to action on this. I want you to make sure that this doesn't happen again in future. Somebody sideswiped a vehicle. I know it was a city vehicle. I don't have any additional information, just this date between this particular time, my neighbor saw it, right? So there's all these potential incidents that come up on a day-to-day basis, and investigating them can be challenging. Why? Because a lot of the information you rely on is scattered. Some of that is telematics data. Some of that is emails from the residents alongside of additional photographs or pictures. There are police reports. And like I said, they're disconnected systems. They're everywhere. There's no way to retain the information. There's no way to provide secure access to that information. What that does is it opens you up to liability exposure. It reduces the operational efficiency. Why? Because you're recreating searches consistently. You're having to go to multiple locations to find that information. You're, increasing the potential legal and compliance risks as those incidents escalate, as they turn into full-blown legal investigations. You're not in a position to have the information clear, structured around the events and the decisions made related to those events. Was action taken? No. And so all of these things potentially put you at a risk for, reputational risk. And so what we're doing is introducing the incident investigation solution. It'll be part of the productivity area within MyG. It's going to allow you to find out what happened easily by searching a location on a map where you don't necessarily have any of the vehicle information or details, just the time that it occurred and the date that it occurred, so that you can surface any activity that happened within that area. You're going to be able to replay the full story, so review the trips within that area, any sort of driver behavior, whether they were speeding, harsh braking, any sort of dash cam footage also that's available to you. And then you're going to be able to build the case, right? So we're already taking the telematics data, and now we're allowing you to add things like notes, attaching additional evidence, keeping that complete investigation record so nothing is lost and scattered. And then also understand accountability, right? Create a clear timelined set of evidence that allows you to support accurate decisions as it relates to understanding liability, but also potentially exonerating people within your team. So a quick look at what that is from a user perspective. So a lot of our customers are already familiar with an area activity search. It's something that's a highly used feature within the platform today. They can easily go to the map and draw a particular box around a location or an area within a specific date range, and then see all activity associated with that particular area. So in this case, we can see a service van was speeding within that area that potentially the incident was reported at. And then we could also see if there was other activities within that area. We could filter by a given activity, meaning like were there 3 assets found, and isolating a particular asset so you only see that within the map. And then you can see there's some errors that occurred within that area, which is probably events that exceeded normal standard thresholds. And so you're exploring this incident. And the nice thing about this is users are already familiar with it. They've already done this for a long time. But the challenge with this is that it wasn't persisted, right? They would do this work, this investigative work, perform the search, but then they weren't able to easily come back to it again in future or reference it. In some cases, I've spoken to some users where they'll print screen these things and then they'll send it over to legal or compliance. But then after that, that information is potentially lost as part of an actual case file. And so what they can do now is simply create an investigation directly from that area of activity search. They click create investigation, and then suddenly it's there for them. They can name the investigation. They can see the range of dates that were part of that investigation. There's also a status associated with these things. So has the investigation been open? Is it in progress? Is it resolved? And then is it archived for long-term digital preservation? And then also once that investigation has been created, we've already talked about this, but just seeing what it looks like, they can build on it. So inside of MyG, they'll have the ability to upload documents, things like the police report. I spoke to someone the other day where they were uploading some damage that had occurred as part of a snowplow hitting part of the property from a user who was driving the snowplow. And then also you can add comments. So not only are you uploading documents, but you have the ability to add comments to it. So I need to follow up with the supervisor, or action was taken on this date and this time. And all of this is tracked inside of the system, and it's secured based on user, date, time, and audit action. And that's it.
Well, thanks for your presentation, Jason. I mean, that investigations piece is really cool. Nothing like having, 3 tabs up somewhere that you're like, I can't close these tabs because I'm going to lose my place in what I'm looking for. So I think that's a really cool addition to MyGeotab. I think that'd be really, I hope you guys think the same. We did have some questions that I will pose to you now. So Jamie was wondering, can the optimization feature handle recurring routes and like suggest / insert new or one-time customers accordingly?
So recurring routes is something that we're currently working on. So that is something that is scheduled to be developed. In terms of this idea of suggest and assist, we do have a feature within inside of the platform, so within inside of the solution today, that allows for exactly that, right? When an unexpected thing comes up, someone's not able to make a delivery within the team, or someone didn't show up for work because unfortunately they were ill. There is the ability to have this suggest and assist, which will suggest optimal appointment slots for the organization that have the least amount of impact to the day's schedule.
Awesome, that sounds good. And so Israel's asking about pricing. Where should people go to find out pricing for this? For anybody wondering about how much this costs, where's the best place for them to get that information?
Yeah, I would say on the Geotab Marketplace. So if you go to Geotab Marketplace and you look up routing solutions, or you look up advanced routing and optimization solution from Geotab, you'll be able to see pricing there for your specific region.
Awesome. All right. That's easy enough. And so I'm not sure if you can speak to this, but do you know if there's any, integration available with Service Titan into, with like our, I think they're meaning with the routing and optimization, but not 100% sure.
So I don't know 100% on that. And so what I think we could do is take that away and then provide that answer as a follow-up.
All right, sounds good. We'll follow up about Service Titan. And so Brian was wondering about the forms portion that you showed. Is that functionality only included within the advanced routing module? Would it be available with Geotab Drive, or is that just something, if you have advanced routing, then you have this forms?
Currently now it's available only within the advanced routing and optimization offering. And I should mention that at initial launch, when that feature is available, the custom forms themselves will be set up with the support of Geotab. The goal is in a subsequent release to have that be more self-serve from a customer perspective.
Awesome. That will be really cool to see. And so Cindy was wondering about the investigations piece. I think we may have missed, when should we be able to use this investigations? When will this be live in MyGeotab?
Yes, great question. And sorry, I should have covered that. So it's going to go live and start rolling out as of July 6th.
All right, right around the corner. Awesome. Hey, we'll stay tuned for that. All right. And is this going to be for all, any user is able to have it? Is there going to be a plan limitation for using investigations, or is this going to be a standard MyGeotab feature?
So at initial launch, standard MyGeotab feature available globally. No initial plans to have this as a paid add-on.
All right, awesome. And so, talk a little bit more about these investigations. How is this saved in the database? Does the data purge when in line with the purge settings? Can this be kind of extracted into a report or taken out of the database in some way?
Also, great question. I think that would be a follow-up. So my initial understanding is that from a data retention perspective is that it's stored indefinitely and there's no defined retention rules at initial launch. that doesn't mean that's not something that we should consider in future. And so we can take it away and we'll provide an answer for sure.
Awesome. Sounds good. And I think that's all. Looks like that's all. Let me just double check, see if I didn't miss anybody here. I know we're running good on time because Jamie's section will be quick. Yeah, I think that's all we had. If you're typing a question right now, send it in there. We'll follow up with an answer. But thank you, Jason. Thanks for your presentation. Thanks everybody for your Q&A. And we will bring on Jamie to talk about our asset tracking. Hey, Jamie.
Glad to be back. Today I am here to talk about our latest release on our Go Anywhere asset tracking family. I almost said final, but as you guys know, we're never done. I'm sure there will be new asset trackers right behind, but I am here to announced that our next gen Go Anywhere asset tracker will be available starting the first week of July. This is kind of an evolution, as the name applies, our next gen of our original Go Anywhere battery asset tracker. So with some nice new improvements. So we'll tackle into the specifics of this product, but as we normally do, kind of want to take a quick overview of kind of what the problem we're trying to solve with our full Go Anywhere asset tracking suite of solutions. So you guys know this better than me, but really the inefficiencies and lack of real-time visibility of your assets and vehicles affects your bottom line, whether that be, the cost of replacing stolen assets, downtime and delays, whether you're looking for that asset on job site, having all sorts of folks looking for that missing jackhammer or missing trailer. Hopefully it's not that big, but definitely does happen. Some of these high valued assets do go missing or underutilized, which is kind of that last one, sitting idle, or, you continuously use the same trailer when you have 4 others. And then last but not least, poor resource allocation. The worst thing that we want to hear about is that you didn't know that you had the jackhammer sitting in the back of the lot and you actually went and bought it when it was just with Jim and you guys couldn't find it. So the good news, these are definitely problems I'm sure you guys face on a day-to-day basis. Asset theft is also becoming more and more of a problem. But the good news is, with our family of asset tracking solutions, all of these situations can be easily solved for. So like I mentioned, we're here to talk about our next gen Go Anywhere, but definitely do want to just make a shout out to the full family of solutions. We now have the full complete suite, our next gen Go Anywhere, our Go Anywhere Plus, which is our wired hybrid solution, really meant for those high valuable assets where you're looking for those deeper insights. And then last but not least, our solution of small asset tracking beacons for those smaller tools that you still need visibility in. The goal of any of these solutions, while they have been designed for specific use cases and definitely have their pluses and minuses, when to use what, the real goal of our full suite of asset trackers is to make it easy on you, total visibility. If you own it, you should know where it is and how it's being used. So kind of moving through this slide really quickly, it really is about minimizing those losses through optimizing resources, maximizing utilization, and then providing you guys an end-to-end solution, all based on, the Geotab philosophies and principles of secure, a single pane of glass, so you can see all of your assets, whether it be a jackhammer or a toolbox, right alongside your trailers or wood chippers or what have you. So again, single pane of glass, kind of as you guys have come to expect from Geotab. Moving specifically to our next gen Go Anywhere, like I mentioned, this is our next generation of battery asset trackers. It is designed for long life, so it is designed to ping once an hour for up to 10 years. So nice, again, main feature, main use case for this is slap it and track it. You're going to have asset track it, visibility to that asset for nearly 10 years. Same durability, same ruggedness as you guys have come to expect from the original Go Anywhere. Sorry about that. Go Anywhere, and similar to our Go Anywhere, both of these are both ruggedized, meant for extreme environments. providing that simplified user experience, and then once again, all integrated right within the Geotab platform that you guys are used to. One nice feature of this, while this is meant for that long life use case, 10 years, pinging once every hour, there is this high frequency mode in the situation where you believe a asset has been stolen or you really need to locate it. That hour ping is not going to get you the information you need to find the asset. We do allow you to turn on this high frequency mode that allows you to increase those pings up to 15 minutes. We get lots of questions about this. I wasn't bold enough to actually go into the database and demo this, but did quickly want to show you kind of how you turn this feature on. So hopefully you guys are familiar with our asset pages, the main asset page, the maintenance page, as well as the device and settings. So if you get to your asset, the specific asset you're looking for, you go to the tab of device and settings. In the upper right-hand corner, there will be asset options, and you'll see the last one is high frequency mode. So quick and simple click of the button will change the frequency of pings to that 15-minute mark. You will get this nice reminder here that, again, this is changing the frequency of pings. This will affect battery life significantly, and it will be automatically turned off for 72 hours. So that is kind of to protect, if you forget, hey, I turned on high frequency mode, it is to protect that battery life, to give you a long life. It can be extended, it can be returned on, but for a general purpose, again, just to make sure no one forgets to turn it off, it is automatically turned off 72 hours. From there, again, moving more high level to the family of asset trackers, they all kind of interact and are designed for those individual purposes, but at a high level in MyG, they definitely, are going to interact and give you that same overall experience. It's really giving you the ability to track what you need, track your way. If you're looking for those more in-depth insights, for your wired assets, powered assets, Go Anywhere Plus is a great solution. Gives you that real-time curve logic tracking, allows you to, manipulate the frequency of pings even more. So again, depending on the use case, depending on the asset, depending on what type of visibility you're looking for, the suite of solutions kind of allow you to cater to those needs, all through simplified use of reports, all through the normal reports of MyG that you're used to, and with the goal of, really protecting your assets. So eliminating those assets walking away, getting misplaced, that, horrible use case I mentioned of, you guys buying a few ladders because you don't have ladders, when if you were just using asset trackers, you would know the ladder's just back in the job site, Jim's using it. So again, all really meant to give you complete visibility to your assets, being able to customize the solution for the reporting needs, what type of data, what type of visibility you're looking for the specific assets. To help kind of make the selection which asset tracker is right for the specific asset or use case or your fleet, this is a kind of quick and dirty selector that we created, hopefully to, taking it to the lowest common denominator. We have a full side-by-side comparison of all of our asset tracking on the next slide, but really this is meant to give you a few quick questions to take you to the right solution easily. So if you're requiring a TAA solution for US, Go Anywhere Plus is the only solution that's going to provide it. If you're looking for that hybrid solution and being able to wire it into your powered assets, again, Go Anywhere Plus. If you're looking for simple tracking of saws and jackhammers and toolboxes, those small assets, really we would steer you to the small asset tracking. And then for those other use cases, the bread and butter for long-term asset tracking, 10 years, pinging once every hour, low maintenance, slap and track it, and you never have to worry about it again for those 10 years. That's really where the next gen Go Anywhere comes into play. Like I mentioned, if you're looking for a more detailed spec-by-spec, side-by-side comparison, this chart will help you to determine which asset tracking solution is right for you. And last but not least, a host of marketing and support resources, user guides, support pages, installation information to really help you once you decide which asset tracker is right for your fleet or a specific asset to get it up and running and get that great visibility to those assets. And I think that's short and sweet for today.
Short and sweet, but great information nonetheless, Jamie. Thanks for sharing that with us today. So we had a few questions. I don't know if you necessarily answered Michael's question. I'll ask it just in case. But so how does the high frequency activate when on movement mode?
That's a great question. Let me get back with specifics on that. I think it actually disqualifies one and the other. I think it is just, hey, you're going to get that 15-minute ping and not on movement. But great question, and we'll circle back with a formal answer for you.
All right, awesome, Michael. Stay tuned. We'll get that answer for you. And so Chris says, so how confident are you with keeping the device secured with the magnet rather than using like some type of fastener? Like, would you stick it on the bottom of your truck and just go over bumps and expect it to stay there? Or, what's the expectation with the magnets?
Yeah, these are not your typical magnets. These are industrial strength magnets. They are meant for these rough and tumble applications going down the road. They have been vibration tested, so I would be very confident in it. Just for my personal use, I've been playing with the magnets. There is a warning. These will take your fingers off. They are very strong. Once they got on my picnic table and my lawnmower using my asset tracker, it was very hard to get these off. So long story short, definitely very comfortable that they will work for your applications. Definitely work with your reseller, partner, account manager if you have that extreme use case or if you run into issues before with the magnets. But these are definitely meant to do the job.
All right, good to know. Great to know. So I know you talked about the small asset tracking a little bit. So Brent was asking, is Geotab developing a small asset tracker similar in size to an Apple tag without requiring the Bluetooth link to a Go9 unit?
Great question. Well, right now we are utilizing our marketplace partner solutions of ELA and Link Labs. They have a host of different beacons and asset trackers to meet those different needs. Like I mentioned up front, Geotab is always working on the latest and greatest and newest things. So, if there is a need for those type of down and dirty iTag asset trackers, keep us posted. We're always looking for the latest and greatest, and you will see me here soon with some exciting news down the line. But yeah, for right now, we are utilizing our marketplace partners, Link Labs and ELA, and they offer a host of different beacon solutions.
All right, sounds good. And all right, so here's one about, from David about, does extreme cold temperatures reduce the battery life? And does this affect like the device pinging in any way?
That's a great question. I'm just going to go off the cuff. I'm going to say generally, things like cellular service, connectivity, extreme weather will have effect on batteries. We've done all the testing. Again, we are standing behind the 10 years and the pings and that of that nature, but there are some general fluctuations based on those extreme situations of weather and connectivity. So definitely something to keep aware of. But yeah, we've done the testing, and again, for the majority of use cases, should be no issue.
All right. Hey, sounds good. Sounds good. And one last question while we got you, Jamie. So just to confirm, Chris wanted to know, can we install these devices without clear sight to the sky, like under a trailer, something like that?
Absolutely. So these are meant to go inconspicuously if they're just front and center for the thief to see, not as ideal. So yeah, we do know these get installed all over, under trailers, under containers, under vehicles. And yes, these all have been tested and will still give you great connectivity in those situations.
All right, great. Hey, well, thanks for being with us here today, Jamie. Thanks for sharing all that about asset tracking, and thank you everybody who stayed to the very end. Thanks for all the questions. Any questions that we didn't get a chance to answer, we'll follow up with. We'll create a post in the community. We'll share it with you all. And that the recording link also, we'll send it out to you guys. So if you have any questions that come up after this, feel free, come to our community, reach out. We're happy to answer any of these questions. I'll pull Jason, Kate, or Jamie, or any other experts back in to answer your questions. So thanks for your time, everybody, and have a great rest of your day. See you next month on the road ahead.